of my personal best coaching's webinar series. I promise to get you in and out of here within 30 minutes. I do every time we do this, 30 minutes in and out for sure. Today we're going to be talking about the breaking through your limiting beliefs. Limiting beliefs hold you back so much. If you remember, last month's webinar was actually about the frameworks of the warrior of change, and covering limiting beliefs is one of the issues that we're going to be covering within the warrior of change program. I see it so much. I'm a youth soccer coach, and working with the kids on the field, one of the things they come off and say is, oh, I just can't do this. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know how to make that pass. And it's all of the stuff that actually holds them back. If we've got the limiting beliefs in our mind that says we can't do something, rest assured, you're not going to be able to get it done. So how do we break through that? How do we break through this ice barrier that holds us back? How do we change the limiting beliefs that we've got? One of the things, I love this quote, it's the biggest limitation is your reluctance to move forward. The limiting beliefs you have is a story that you're telling yourself, and it's holding you in position. And the reluctance to move out of your comfort zone to experience something new and exciting, new and demanding, new and scary, is the thing that's going to actually just limit you. And it's the stories that are holding you back into that. So it's time to get out of your own way, time to actually start moving forward into your fullest potential. So what is a limiting belief? And so we've got to understand these. A lot of it is just the mental and emotional barriers that's holding us back. It's the story we tell ourselves. And they often come from past experiences, stories, and societal norms. If I look at my life, one of the things that I always believed through school was that I'm not a good learner. I never really did well at school. And so I struggled with this identity of just not being enough and not being good enough. And it was a story I used to tell myself all of the time. So whenever an opportunity came up for me to learn something new, I would shy away from it. I would create the reality in which I lived through the story which I told myself, which was I'm not good enough to learn something new. I then found out about limiting beliefs. I then found out a way to break through them. And so I started to step into that and change the story in which I told myself. This year, I have been on a goal of mine to do one webinar a month, and I've done 10 of them this year. But last year in 2022, I was telling myself, who would want to listen to my webinars? Why would people want to be sitting through a webinar that I'm talking on? And what can I deliver? And so I was holding myself back. So what I did was I stepped in and went for it. And here I am 10 webinars later, and I'm enjoying every one of them. Now, the interesting fact about all of this is that 80% of this self-talk, 80% of this self-talk that I've given to myself has been negative. And this goes for you too. 80% of what you say is negative. And they say about another 80% is a repetition from yesterday. So we're repeating the same stories, and most of it is negative. We hear the voices in our head. We rarely do anything about it. We can feel that gut feeling because there's a stomach brain as well that also does the same. So it's a kind of a double punch. We feel it, we hear it. And so we believe these limiting beliefs to be true. And more often than not, they are not true. So we've got to start breaking through these things. One of the things that we've got to do is become aware of what our limiting beliefs are. What is it that's holding us back? Because if we don't know, we can't do anything about it. So I've given a couple of exercises here. One of the things that I love to do is this reflection exercise. What belief is holding me back from taking my next step? When I thought about doing the webinars, the limiting belief was that I'm not good enough and no one would want to listen to what I had to say. But I had to become aware of that to step into it and change it. We'll talk about changing it in a little while. There's another little exercise that you can reflect on. If you were to sit and imagine a day without your current constraints, without you holding yourself back, what would it look like? Is that picture something that you sit there and go, I want to step into that, right? And then you can pinpoint what it is that's preventing you from doing that. So what's causing the constraints? What's stopping you stepping into your ideal life? We've talked about journaling through my personal best coaching journey for a long time. You've got to start journaling. You want to start journaling. Write down, so from the first exercise there, write down a limiting belief that's holding you back. And then at the end of it, just write why. And I suggest you do this at least 5 times. So you'll sit there and go, my limiting belief is I don't feel good enough. Why? Well, I didn't do well at school. I didn't get the grades that I know I should have got. I used to learn well, but forget really quickly. Why? Well, because I didn't feel like I was really learning and I felt bored. And it wasn't relevant to me. Why? Because that's not the way I wanted to go. And so suddenly you can get into the why of what it was. And what I found out was the traditional way of learning was not something that would fit me. I love to learn now. I read books, I listen to podcasts, I listen to books, I experiment, I test, I get my hands on through this process. I can't tell you how many times I have come on to a live show with the mute button still on. And so I fall over, I make mistakes, and I get myself back up. And that's how I learn. Okay, check the microphone, check the system, check where it's going. And this suddenly starts to help me learn. But I found out that, oh, it's not that I can't learn. It was that learning was different, and I like to learn this way. And so I broke through my limiting beliefs about learning through this exercise of asking why. And then you can sit there and ask yourself the question of, does it benefit you? So does the belief of me not learning benefit me, or does it hold me back? Well, it was holding me back, right? So I wanted to do something about it. Now, some limiting beliefs, especially if you're an athlete playing your sport, you don't necessarily want to try a ton of new things because sport is a focused thing. And if I keep doing it this way and it's working, then keep doing it, right? If the limiting belief is working, keep using it. If the limiting belief is not working, change it. But awareness is key. Keep working on becoming aware of what's going on. Naming them, this aligns with the whole awareness. You've got to identify what your limiting belief is. Is it a fear of learning? Is it this belief that you've got a lack of learning? If you've got a learning disorder, just name them. Be very clear. The brain loves clarity. So the clearer you can get around this limiting belief, the easier it is for your brain to work through it. I would then examine the facts. Is it true? My learning belief, was it true that I couldn't learn? No, it wasn't true. I could learn. I just was choosing not to, back in my childhood, retain the content that was given me. And it was the lack of retention that was hindering me, not my lack of ability of learning. And now I found a new way of learning that fits me. I get to retain the content. This content, this PowerPoint was put together on my learning of limiting beliefs and liberating truths. All of the content that I've read in the past about this and all of the work I've done around this is it. And so I can now retain the content. So examine the facts, see if they're true. And then we're going to talk about replacing them. So after you've got rid of the facts, and once you've found the ones that are not working for you and you want to change them, the next place is to replace them. And you want to replace them with an empowering, positive belief. And it could be just as simple as adding the word yet. I can't learn this, limiting belief. I can't learn this yet, liberating truth. That means I'm working into it. It essentially is taking you from a fixed mindset, I can't learn this, to a growth mindset, I can't work this yet. When I have soccer players come off, oh, I just can't play this game. I can't do that. And I'll talk to them, and we'll finally get to the point of replacing it with the fact that they've trained, they've got the skills, they've got the ability. It's now just about executing. And so we train them to retell the story in the moment. So replace the limiting belief with liberating truths. Here's another tool that can help with this. Not only do you name the limiting belief and get some clarity around that, I would push you to actually name the voice in your head. And yes, actually give it a name. My name is Ivan. And so think about this. 80% of the talk in my head is negative. So I've got to sit there and detach myself from that talk, because if I don't detach myself from it, then it's gonna be in the brain. And if I don't name it, I can't separate it from other chatter in my mind. So by naming it, I can sit there and go, oh, that's Ivan. That's my negative character. He's talking right now. And by actually separating it, I can then ask it I can then ask myself, is this some advice that I would give to a friend? Is this some advice that I would take from a friend? And I can actually then say, no, it's not. I wouldn't talk to my friend in that way. I wouldn't say to my friends, you just can't do it. You're crap, you're no good. I wouldn't say that. But I say it to myself. So by separating myself from this and by naming the character Ivan, I can sit and look at it and go, Ivan, thank you very much. I don't want to listen to you today. This is not something that's going to help me move forward to my goals. And so the separation actually allows me to treat it like a person. Because to be honest, if a friend came up to me and said, you can't do it, you're crap, you're no good, they wouldn't be my friend anymore. I would just not be around them. And so that's the next question, right? Would you say that to your friend? Something nice and simple. You can take this away. This is something you can apply today. Figure out what the voice is saying. Name the character and give it some wacky, crazy name. Mine actually is called Ivan Skavinsky Skavar. I don't know where it came from. I think it was just from an advert somewhere back in England. But it gives me this character that I can look at. Intelligent, but not too intelligent. Strong, but not too strong. And that way, it can't bully me in any way, shape, or form. And so I can step up and say, hey, Ivan, no, thank you. I'm not going to take that advice today. Because remember, sometimes the voice in your head and that negativity, that limiting belief, is actually something that's going to protect you and keep you safe. So don't throw it all out. Keep what's good for you. Keep what's working. Remove what's not. And change it to a liberating truth. Accountability in action. Accountability is just sharing this with someone, sharing your experiences, sharing your commitment. Keeping yourself accountable will help you move forward and through the sticky moments. There are going to be tough moments in this where that negative chatter, that limiting belief is going to be something that's going to kind of take hold and want to push you. So get some accountability, and then action over perfection. Just take action. Name the character, name the limiting belief, replace the limiting belief with a liberating truth. I can send out a worksheet from this, which actually is a worksheet on limiting beliefs and liberating truth. You list it out. What is your limiting belief? Then what is the liberating truth that changes that? I'm not good at this can become simply, I'm not good at this yet. I'm not good in front of a camera can be, I've been in front of a camera dozens of times. I can do this. That's a liberating truth. I can do this. So you've got to start taking action and moving towards that goal that you've got. Here's a couple of other tools from the Warrior of Change Toolkit. I've got some mantras, and again, I can share this with you when we actually get this going. I did that the wrong way around. Hang on a second. I can't. Okay, I'm going to turn that back on. That on. Sorry, guys. There you go. We're back onto it. Warrior of Change Toolkit. I've got some mantras in different areas. This adaptability. A liberating truth is I can't change. A limiting belief could be I can't change. Well, a liberating truth could be I adapt, I overcome. This is great when you're facing unexpected changes and challenges. Mantra 2, flow state. I can't get into work. I can't get into the working environment. Well, in flow, you can thrive in that. So in flow, I thrive. It's a brilliant way of making it work. Mantra 3, problem solving. I find ways when there seem to be none. This is a really common one in a limiting belief. I'm stuck. I can't do anything. I can't get out of this situation. I can't get out of this relationship. You find yourself saying these things over and over again, and it will happen. So we want to find ways to create a liberating truth. I find ways when there seem to be none. This really is something about the river, right? When you think of flowing water, it will find a way out of no way. Water gets through, over, under, everything. And so these are little mantras that you can use that will change a limiting belief into a liberating truth. It's doing the work on a daily, consistent basis that catches the limiting belief. What are you saying to yourself every day that's holding you where you are? And then how do I break out of that and move into, oh, maybe I can do that. I can move past this fear of cameras. I can move past this feeling, thinking that I'm not good enough, because I am good enough. I am powerful beyond measure. That's a liberating truth that I use daily. It's a little mantra, powerful beyond measure. And when I do that, things actually start to become better and clearer. So what's next? What's next is you taking action. You can go to mpbcoaching.com, schedule a call. I'd love to help you out with any of the limiting beliefs that you may have. If you want a copy of the worksheet, I'm happy to send you that. It's really nice and simple. You list it, you're aware of it, you know what your limiting belief is. You can then change it to a liberating truth. And then it's the daily work of going, oh, hang on a second, I'm saying this again. I need to change it to this. Hang on a second, I want to change that to a liberating truth. You can just watch out for our follow emails. We'll be sending you follow-up emails from here. You can register for next month's email. I am increasing the tempo of this, and I'm going to be doing 2 a month as of November. So I've got 2 webinars in November that I'm moving to. So register for the next webinar. It's going to be packed full of really cool and interesting stuff. The replay will be on the YouTube channel. It will be there for a while, so you can watch the replay of this to get a deeper dive into the content. I want to thank you for spending time with me today. 18 minutes, told you I'd be under 30. 18 minutes, the content, just to recap, become aware of what your limiting beliefs are. Know what they are. Journal, write them down. Ask a question 5 times when you write down that limiting belief to get to the core. If there is a core issue within your home, your school, your family, whatever, examine that and find out what it was that was happening there that you could change and move. Could it be forgiving someone? Could it be accepting a situation? If there's trauma involved, then maybe it's a deeper dive into the trauma and understanding what was going on. But you've got to understand where the limiting belief was coming from so you can address the core issue. Name your negative voice. It's a challenge. Name it. Think of something wacky. Think of something that works for you. Like I said, mine is Ivan Skavinsky Skavar. I call him just Ivan. And when he pops up, no, thank you. I'm not going to listen to you today. He was here right before this webinar. What if it goes wrong? What if no one turns up? What if? Thank you, Ivan. Love you. I know I'm going to continue doing what I'm doing. I've got this. I'm good. So name that. And then the liberating truths piece is change it to something positive. Change it from I can't do this to I can't do this yet. Thank you again for tuning in. I'm here for you anytime you need me. mpbcoaching.com, top right hand corner. Schedule a call, watch the replay, and I'll catch you in a couple of weeks' time at our next webinar. Thank you very much. Have we got any questions? We've got time. Have we got time? Have we got any questions from our audience today? This is something new. There you go. I've just stepped into challenging myself. Has anyone got a question that they would like to share? And maybe not. I'm going to shut up for a couple of seconds just to see if there's anything coming in on the private chat. I must have done an excellent job on the presentation because we've got no questions today. So thank you very much. I'm gonna end the stream right now, and so I'm gonna end the live stream.